Hello, my name is Angela. Welcome to my channel. Please remember to like, subscribe, and share. Today's topic is going to be, how do you know if you're dealing with a toxic person? But before we get started, I'm going to read my disclaimers. Please remember, if you are in immediate danger, call 911, or you can reach out to the domestic hotline at 800-799-SAFE. 800-799-7233. And for mental health resources, reach out to NAMI at 800-950-NAMI, 800-950-6264, or you can text NAMI at 741741. And with that being said, please remember to like my videos, subscribe, and share. So how do you know if you're dealing with a toxic person? So I wrote down a few things that I've experienced in my life, and this is very toxic because of the way it made me feel. Number one, they play the victim. They'll ask you how to handle something, and you give them a solution, but they have so many reasons on why it's not going to work, and they just feel so down about their situation, and they're always pitying whatever happened to them. Now, don't get me wrong, we all go through a funk to where we feeling down and we have our own little pity party, but a normal person don't dwell on it forever. They let it go. They find solutions. They find ways to get out of it. A toxic person, however, it's like a vampire. They're drawn to the people that are healthy, and they're always complaining about what happened to them. They don't know why this happened to them. Nothing is ever good going to happen to them. So it's a vicious cycle that goes over and over. And every time they talk to you, you can say to them, for example, "Good morning, it's such a beautiful day." "Yeah, it is. Well, I don't feel so good today, and I just don't know what's going on." And even if you try to, have them look on the bright side by saying, "Well, at least you woke up this morning." "Yeah, well, I still feel so bad. I'm going to go have to see what's going on." There's nothing positive that comes out of this person's mouth. And, they're always complaining about what's happening to them. And you need to be aware of these people, because what they do is they prey on your feelings or your empathy and your goodwill. If you speak about their behavior, and you try to tell them, or point out to them that they're always complaining and that there's other things to look at the bright side of things, they get upset with you. And it can easily end up into an argument. And then they try to make you feel bad. So instead of them accepting what you're saying, you end up apologizing to them. And I'm going to share a story with you. A friend of mine, about 2 years ago, she asked me if I would ride with her to drop her daughter off at college. Now, mind you, this wasn't the first year that her daughter was in college. This was just being dropped off from the summer vacation. So I said yeah, because the ride is about 3 hours long. So I said yeah. And I said, "Well, what time?" And she told me, "Well, we're going to leave at 11 and we should be back right after we drop her off." I said, "Okay, 11 a.m. I said, "Because I need to be back at least before 6, because I have some things to do." At that time, I was moving and I needed to finish packing because I had a busy week that was upcoming. And this was on a Sunday. So, I get to my friend's house, and it was a gated community. So I went in to buzz her in. She had given me the number, but it was incorrect. So I couldn't get in. And oddly enough, no one came out of that gate during that time. I got there, it had to be about 10:30. So I'm sitting there with my daughter because she was dropping me off. And I called my friend. I called her at least 6 or 7 times. I couldn't get an answer. I ended up calling her daughter and texting her daughter, who was in church. So her daughter text her mom. And then finally, now I'm sitting there waiting, and now it's about 11:15 or so. So I've been calling for 45 minutes trying to reach this person. So then I finally get through to her, and I said, well, I need your code to get in, or can you buzz me in? And she said, well, the gate is open. And I said, no, I'm sitting in front of it. It's closed. I said, I've been sitting here hoping that someone would come out. I said, so, or either go in so I could follow behind. I said, but that hasn't happened. I said, so could you give me the number? So she gives it to me. Again, it's the wrong number. So before I could call her back, somebody actually did come to the gate to go out. So at this time I can get in. So my daughter drops me off. I get in the house and I see that her daughter has not packed anything. She's basically standing there looking, and my friend is telling her, come on, we got to go so we can get things done, and we need to make a stop by the store. Mind you, now it's 12. We were supposed to be on the road by 11. So we finally get on the road. It's probably 12:30. We stop by Costco and pick up some things, and then we're headed on for this long ride. So it was myself, my friend, her daughter, and my friend's other daughter and child in the car. So they was there to help her move back into the place. So we get there. The ride on the way is, I'm listening to my friend complain about things, and I'm just sitting back chilling because, you know, I'm just there to help so we can get this day over with so we can get back home, because I had some things to do, and she knew that. So we get to the place, and it's now about 3 o'clock because it took us so long to leave. If we had got on the road right after we dropped her off, we could we could have been home around at least 6:30. So I would have been okay with that. We get to a place, and she started to clean her daughter's dorm room. She's doing all kinds of weird stuff, and then she wants to go to the store. So I tell her, I said, you know, I said, I didn't know that you was coming down to do more than what you said. I said, I have things to do because I'm moving. Now, mind you, she's never asked me if I needed help with my move or anything of that nature. She never asked me if she could help me. So I'm, you know, saying to her, I need, you know, to be back at least by 6:30 at the latest. And so she tells me, and this is the shocking part. This is how I know at this point that I was dealing with a person, that I had been dealing with a person for over 20 some years that really didn't care about me. So she says to me, you know, it's really rude that you would say to me that you're in a hurry when you know I'm dropping my child off for college. And she said, that's just really uncalled for. And I said, well, you know, it's really rude that you didn't consider my time. I said, I gave you a timeline. I took the whole day to help you when I have things to do myself. I said, and that's just not fair. So she got really upset, and we had a few words, and then we stopped talking. So now I'm basically out here with this person 3 hours away from my home. I was so angry I wanted to call an Uber and just go back home. But I just kind of walked it off, and I ended up apologizing and saying, and she said, well, it's hard when, and her excuse was this, it's hard when your child is going to college, and that's just hard. You know, I'm dropping her off. I said, you know, correct me if I'm wrong. I said, this is her second year in college. I said, so it's not like this is the first year. I would have understood that more, and I, you know, would have prepared for that. And she said, well, it's still hard. And I said, okay, I understand that. So I ended up apologizing. So that's, you know, how they prey on your feeling. That's a toxic person. They don't care about what you're going through. Your situation doesn't matter. It's always about them. So moving on to the next sign, emotional abuse. You know, a toxic person, they use intimidation. They want you walking around on eggshells. If things doesn't go their way, it's always the silent treatment. They disregard your opinions, talking down to you, name calling. And that would be more like in a relationship, a romantic relationship, you know, where your partner always has something, always has a way of making you feel small. You know, your ideas, your opinion don't matter. You just don't know what to say to make this person happy. So that's the sign of an emotional abuse. And to me, you know, that's something that's damaging to you. If somebody is always cutting you down and making you feel like you don't matter, you need to leave that relationship, no matter what type of relationship it is, whether it's romantic, mother and daughter, son and father, whatever the case may be. Leave that relationship because it's not healthy. And then you have number 3. A toxic person loves that control. They always have to control you. They need your attention all the time. They have no regards for what time they'll call you. As long as you're available, they don't want to share you with anyone else, because they crave you. They crave your attention. And it's almost like putting you in a jar and opening you up when they need you. So that's real toxic. So if you know people like that, self-evaluate. You know, look at the people you have in your life. If they're not serving you any purpose, and you feel like the relationship is one way, try to have a conversation with them. If they are decent and they're not toxic, they'll understand that and they'll apologize. You know, because sometimes these signs could just be a person that's just really going through something and don't know how to express it the correct way. But if they're toxic and they don't care about you, then trust and believe it's going to lead into an argument or a fight of some sort. And I'm in the business of not keeping anybody in my life that doesn't want to be there. I treat people with respect, and I demand respect. You know, like I said, I've been in an abusive relationship, so I know the signs of how people just don't care about you and how abuse is. Abuse doesn't always have to come from a romantic partner. It could be from friends, family, as we all know. So no matter who it is, if you're dealing with somebody that doesn't respect your time, your effort, your opinion, then and it's been this way for years, and you try to keep them because you don't want to leave them by themselves, think about yourself. You know, think about how this is putting a damper on your spirit. I would suggest that you leave, you know, or see if you can have a talk with the person. If you can't come to some kind of agreement on how they should treat you, and what you demand as respect, you know, because if you're given respect, you should receive it. You shouldn't have to demand respect from someone. It should be natural. But if this is a problem for them, then it may be wise to walk away from the relationship, the friendship, or even if it's family. If you have family that's treating you this way, walk away from it. What do you have to lose? Your mental, that's what you have to lose. So instead of living in a vicious cycle like this, rise above. You know, you don't have to be mean. Just let them know you can't be available to the abuse. And if they love you or care about you, then things will change. If not, then you know you're dealing with a toxic person. I thank you for listening, and I hope that this reaches someone. I am going to come back later with the remaining things that I wrote down about a toxic person. I just wanted to share this really briefly, and I will be back later. Thank you for listening. Please remember to like, subscribe, and share.